Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. In the last live show of 2012. What's the best place to hide something, ladies and gentlemen? In plain sight. Let's pause, take a breath, and take a look at the celebrities amongst us who passed away in 2012, including the causes of their death. You might want to get the handkerchiefs out, and then you might want to get a megaphone out, some type of soapbox out, some type of loud speaker that you can blast your frustration to. Open the window and just scream at the top of your lungs, I'm fed up and I'm just not going to take it anymore. We have become drones. We have become enculturated to believe in the myth of medical mediocrity. We have gotten so used to mediocre health outcomes delivered by MDs in their white coats with stethoscopes and their prescription pads that when we die en masse, nobody blinks an eyelash. 3,000 people die in the Twin Towers. We go to war. 780,000 people a year are killed by MDs. We don't bat an eyelash. We continue to buy health insurance. 500,000 people are killed by cancer. After we've given almost $1 trillion to the MDs to come up with a cure for cancer, they can't do it. People are dropping like flies from cancer. Heart disease statistics haven't changed after $25 billion a year of statin drugs. And, we're like lemmings following each other over the cliff to our dooms. Why do we do it? Because we don't know there's a difference. Michael Clark Duncan, that big guy, African-American actor, he was in The Green Mile, died at 54 years old. 54 years old from a heart attack. Scott McKenzie, he was a singer in the 60s, the Mamas and Papas era. He was the guy that sung the lyrics to When You Go to San Francisco, Be Sure to Wear Some Flowers in Your Hair. That guy, 65 years old, Guillain-Barré syndrome. You know what one of the most common causes of Guillain-Barré syndrome? It's a neurological disorder. It's a side effect of the influenza vaccine, a side effect of the flu shot. Remember, welcome back, Cotter. For all of the baby boomers in the audience, I'm showing my age now. Ron Palillo, the guy that played Horshack, died of a heart attack, 63 years old. 63 years old, and he died of a heart attack. And, apparently culturally we're okay with this. Sherman Hemsley, moving on up. The Jeffersons, remember? The father of the Jeffersons, moving on up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky, died of lung cancer. He's probably in his 70s. I didn't get his age. Died of lung cancer. Too bad he didn't know that selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of lung cancer by 39%, even if you're a smoker. I guess his MD neglected to tell him that. Deep Purple. If you were around in the 60s, you were probably a fan of Deep Purple. John Lord, one of the musicians in Deep Purple, might even have founded it, died of pancreatic cancer at 71 years of age. And I know what you're thinking to yourself, oh, Dr. Glidden, cancer gets everybody. No, it doesn't. Cancer only gets people who are undernutrified. Cancer gets people who pay no attention to what they eat. Cancer gets people who pay no attention to essential nutrition. Cancer gets people who load their bodies with acrylamides, who load their bodies with heterocyclic amines. Cancer doesn't kill healthy people. It only kills you if you're not healthy. It only gets you if you're not healthy. What makes you not healthy? Eating all the wrong food and not taking enough nutrition. Oh, I thought it was genetic. It's not genetic, you knucklehead. If it was genetic, the people with the cancer gene would have died out hundreds of years ago. Isn't that how natural selection works? Survival of the fittest? Well, if it's genetic, why are more and more people getting cancer? It's not genetic. It's nonsense is what it is. Ernest Borgnine, for goodness sake, dies at 95 years of age of kidney failure. Oh, but Dr. Glidden, he was 95 years of age. Well, listen, snap out of it. Where did I read? And man's years shall number 120. Yeah, where'd you read that? The book of Genesis is where you read that. And any geneticist Interesting little juxtaposition of terms. Any geneticist will also tell you that the human body has the genetic potential to make it to 120. And there are a number of cultures around the world where members of these societies make it past 100 regularly. The Hunzas in Afghanistan, the Bama people in Japan, China, the Okinawans in Japan, the Vilcabambas in Peru. They're over 100 and they're healthy. They've got no health care. They've got no Walgreens. They've got no medical doctors. They're lucky if they have a roof over their head. They're over 100 years of age. Why? Because accidentally they were living in a part of the world where the soil was rich. They were eating food that was loaded with antioxidants, loaded with minerals, loaded with nutrients. They got lucky. My colleague Dr. Wallach wrote a book about that called Immortality. You want to live long? Get that book and read it. Clean your darn diet up, take your nutritional supplements, live long and prosper. Ernest Borgnine at 95 years of age of kidney failure. I guess nobody told him that fried food loaded with acrylamides and well-done red meat loaded with heterocyclic amines increases free radical concentrations in the body, and free radicals cause inflammation which gum up the kidneys. Most of the time when people die of kidney disease, there's nothing wrong with the kidney. It's the blood flow in and to the kidney. It's all clogged up. Why is it clogged up? Because you have a bad gene? No, because you have the wrong doctor. George Lindsay, bet you don't know who he was, but if you watched Andy Griffith, the Andy Griffith Show, he was Goober Pyle. Remember Goober? 83 years of age, died after a brief illness. At 83 years of age. Don't know what that means, but here's what I do know. A brief illness cannot hurt you when you are nutritionally replete. A brief illness cannot hurt you when your body is strong and sound. A brief illness will kick the crap out of you if your body's weak. A brief illness will kill you, as it did to Goober Pyle, if you have an MD for a doctor. Levon Helm, the night they drove old Dixie down, remember that guy? 71 years of age from cancer. Dick Clark, 82, a massive heart attack. Not just a heart attack, a massive heart attack. I guess nobody told Dick Clark that selenium supplementation is an extremely important nutrient to have a healthy heart. I guess nobody told Dick Clark that if you eliminate oil in a bottle, fried food, heterocyclic amines, well-done red meat, nutrify your body, you give your body all the nutrition that it needs, it's going to have a healthy heart. The only reason you don't have a healthy heart is because you're gumming up the works every day with all the wrong stuff. For goodness sake, you wouldn't put, olive oil in the engine of your car, would you? You wouldn't fill your gas tank up with olive oil or kerosene. You wouldn't do that. But you don't think twice about pouring any kind of crap you want to into your body. And who tells you what to put into your body? The people that make the food. And MDs who have no training, no respect, no experience, and no appreciation for medical nutrition. Dick Clark, for goodness sake, dies of a heart attack. Remember the Monkees? Davy Jones. Remember Davy Jones? America's heartthrob? Well, guess what? Here's a little irony. America's heartthrob died of a heart attack at 66. 66! He didn't even meet the curve, didn't even make it into his 70s. 66! Died of a heart attack. You've got to be kidding me. The host of Soul Train, Don Cornelius, remember that show? Pretty great show. Kind of a landmark show for African Americans in the United States. Don Cornelius, the host of Soul Train, died of suicide in 2012, 75 years of age. Suicide. What makes people suicidal? Their bodies are undernutrified. Their brain chemistry can't fire appropriately. Brain can't make the proper connections. Experience a little bit of stress, you got blood sugar problems, you got mineral deficiencies, you got nutrient deficiencies, your brain chemistry starts getting funky and you shoot yourself. I wonder if he was taking antidepressants, because a leading side effect of antidepressants is suicide. Isn't that interesting? Etta James, the matriarch of rhythm and blues, 73 years of age, died from leukemia. And I read about all these people dying from all these chronic illnesses, especially cancer, and what do they always say? She died after putting up a valiant fight for cancer. She was battling cancer for the last 6 years of her life. Well, guess what? What they should say is she went to the wrong darn doctor. Her doctor let her down. Her doctor was not able to cure cancer. It was her doctor's fault. It wasn't Etta James's fault. It's not her wheelhouse. It's not her wheelhouse to know about, health. It's the doctor's wheelhouse to know about health. What do they know about cancer? They don't know how to cure it. $1 trillion of research, and they can't cure cancer. Well, I'm not surprised. They don't even know how to cure heartburn, and we gave them $1 trillion to come up with a cure for cancer. Now who's the quack? Andy Williams. Andy Williams, everybody knows Andy Williams. 84 years of age, bladder cancer. Guess nobody told Andy Williams that supplementing with acidophilus with the good flora keeps bladder cancer from coming back over 90%. Once you have bladder cancer once and they get it quick enough and they remove it, if you take acidophilus, which is, the best acidophilus I've seen is Youngevity's Flora FX. It reduces the recurrence of bladder cancer by over 90%. Guess nobody told Andy Williams that. Dave Brubeck. Oh, I'm getting away with myself today, folks. Dave Brubeck, I don't know how old he was. He was probably in his 80s, died of heart failure. Why does your heart fail? Because you're old? No. Because it's run out of the nutrients that it needs to maintain its health. That's it. Now, if you're 120 and you die of heart failure, I'm not surprised. Because no matter how nutrified you are, your body can only make it to 120 years of age. Because every time cells regenerate, which they do all the time, they lose a little bit of genetic material. It's like making a copy of a copy. This is why you can only make it to 120 no matter how healthy you are, because your body runs out of information. It can't regenerate itself anymore, so you die. But if you die before you're 120 of heart disease, it's not because you have a bad gene, it's because you have a bad doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just getting started. Stick around. If you're calling me today, God bless you. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden with the last live show of 2012. If you're calling today, I'm going to take all calls in the next segment, so hang with me. The number to call, actually, if you'd like to talk to me, is 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. And the number to call to talk to a live person for information about the Youngevity business opportunity or how to purchase these supplements, the Youngevity supplements, at the wholesale price is 855-347-3696. Or, if you're an internet type, just go to fireyourmdnow.com and click on the Youngevity button right there in the menu bar and follow the steps. Now, we're talking about notables who have died from medical incompetence in 2012. Neil Armstrong is next on the list. Neil Armstrong, you know what Neil Armstrong died of? MDs. Neil Armstrong went in they convinced Neil Armstrong that he needed a bypass, a coronary bypass. Don't even know if he had any active symptoms. They probably did some diagnostic discovery and said, well, Neil, you've got, 60% blockage in one of the coronary arteries. It's only a matter of time. You're in relatively good health, so let's just go in and do a bypass. And they killed him. He died of complications during a heart bypass surgery. And what happened to the doctors? Nothing. And what about his relatives? What did they say? Were they upset with the doctors? Oh, no. Those doctors, they're good people. They did the best that they could. They killed him. For goodness sake, they killed him. Doesn't matter how well-intentioned they were. The road to heaven is paved with good intentions. They killed him. And there was no retribution. There were no consequences. The next day, those guys went right back to work. And they got paid for what they did. For goodness sake. If you screw up on your job, your pay gets docked. If you're a cop and you screw up, they give you a vacation for 2 weeks. Put you on release. There's punishment. There are consequences. There's no consequences when MDs screw up. And there need to be. This is how far down the rabbit hole we've gone in our unquestioning allegiance to conventional MD-directed allopathic reductionistic pharmaceuticals. They kill us all the time, and we continue to go to them. Andy Griffith, at 86 years of age. Andy Griffith, everybody remembers Andy Griffith, died of a heart attack at 86. You got to be kidding me. 86, dies of a heart attack? You might think that that's normal. I know that that's not. Again, the only reason your heart goes if you're under 120 is because you've been eating all the wrong food all your life. You've been screwing your heart up slowly but surely. The MDs haven't told you what to take, and I bet Andy Griffith was taking statin drugs. If he was taking statin drugs, why did he die of a heart attack? Because there's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease, and the last person that anybody should go to for advice about heart health is an MD, especially if his last name is Oz. Nora Ephron died at 71 years of age of cancer, leukemia. Nora Ephron, of course, is, a playwright, a screenwriter, journalist, blogger, wrote Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally, pretty great movies, if you ask me. She dies of leukemia at 71. She didn't even beat the average either. The average age of death in the United States, if you're a woman, is 82. She died at 71. Now, if Nora Ephron could die of cancer, what do you think your chances are? You know how much money she probably, I don't know how much money she had, but for goodness sake, she wrote Sleepless in Seattle. I'm thinking she was pretty well off. So was Steve Jobs, by the way. Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees dies at 62 from colon cancer. 62. I guess his medical doctors neglected to tell him that selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of colon cancer by 69%. And I bet you 25 cents they gave him chemotherapy, which has been proven to be ineffective. Over 97% of the time, it does not work. Bob Welch, one of the original members of Fleetwood Mac, again, I'm dating myself, shot himself at 65 years of age, shot himself. Now, what does it take to have somebody shoot themselves? You got to be, depressed, right? You got to be a little crazy, right? What makes you depressed? What makes you a little crazy? Funky blood sugar, not enough minerals. Donna Summer, 63 years of age, dies from cancer. One of the founders of the Beastie Boys, his name was Adam Yauch, dies at 47 from cancer. And the first woman in space, last but not least, Sally Ride, dies at 61 years of age from pancreatic cancer. And this is the new normal, ladies and gentlemen. Dying way before your time from cancer, from heart disease, from illnesses that are easily preventable. And quite frankly, it's very easy to support and promote the health of the body in the face of a chronic illness, but you cannot do it with drugs. Fire your MD now. It will be the best move you've ever made. Facts are a stubborn thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're happy with your disease management by pharmaceutical drugs delivered by reductionistic allopathic MDs, then God bless you and, have a great life. But if you're frustrated by all of that, and quite frankly, if you're horrified by all of these outcomes, I mean, if you're looking for an alternative to drugs and surgery, if you're ready, willing, and able to take responsibility for your health, finally take responsibility for your health yourself, you have come to exactly the right place. We're going right to the phones now. I told you we're an international program. That's right. We're picking up Australia right now. Johnny from Australia is giving us a call. Johnny, welcome aboard.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. How are you going?
Good, thanks.
The reason why I'm calling is my wife's got an ectopic pregnancy, and she's been given a couple of doses of methotrexate.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what your opinion was on how to manage that, and also she's at the risk of rupturing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's a tubal pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to know how can we avoid the rupture, and what can we do to treat the side effects of methotrexate, including abnormalities in babies later on?
Yeah. Well, the only thing that you can do in situations like this is keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best, because everything that we do is based upon the fundamental belief that the human body knows how to fix itself, the human body wants to fix itself, and the human body has the ability to fix itself if it has the proper nutrition available and if you're not unwittingly eating all of the wrong food all of the time. So, what we want to do in your wife's case is nutrify her body 100% every day, and by so doing, dramatically increase her body's chances of being able to handle the stress of the tubal pregnancy. And by the way, for those of you in the listening audience, a tubal pregnancy is a pregnancy that's developing in the fallopian tube instead of the uterus. It's developing in the fallopian tube instead of the uterus. This is an interesting situation to have developed. It's a very rare thing to have occur. And I'm not that familiar with methotrexate. Don't even really know why they prescribed that drug specifically. But regardless of methotrexate or whatever else they're prescribing, what we do 100% of the time, every time, is lean on the power of the body to fix itself and maintain its health. So the recommendation here would be 1 Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of D-Stress, it's a B complex supplement, 1 bottle of D-Stress a month, and that's all that I would do. Well, you can give an extra bottle of minerals, give extra minerals, the plant-derived minerals, the cherry mins, or the ultimate minerals, it's in the freeze-dried cap. If you do the liquid minerals, it's 1 bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and if you do the caps, it's a half a bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So really what I would do, Johnny, is I would clean her diet up, nutrify her body, keep your fingers crossed, and see what happens. You know, really, I don't know what that drug is doing. It's probably going to create side effects, with the health of the child, but listen, all birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies, and there can be some drug interactions, of course, but I'd have to look it up to see exactly what this particular drug does as far as promoting birth defects. But, for insurance, right, in order to give the body a leg up on this particular situation, it's like a double stress, right, the tubal pregnancy and the drug. So we're just going to nutrify the body, keep the fingers crossed, and see what happens. So this is my advice. Give it a try and call us back with a report. What part of Australia are you in, by the way?
I'm in Sydney, actually.
Sydney. What time is it there?
It is 9:30 in the morning.
9:30 in the morning? Okay, very good. Thanks a lot. I believe Dr. Wallach's making a tour through Australia in early January.
Excellent. That's great.
So go to Youngevity and check it out. And thank you so much for the call. Keep up the good work. Next up is Tricia from Texas calling with a question about eczema. Tricia, thanks so much for the call. You are live.
Hi. I have a 3-month-old baby that I'm exclusively breastfeeding and taking the 90 for life.
Yeah.
And he has developed eczema, and someone wanted to know what you recommend to do at this point.
Well, the most common cause of eczema is an allergy to wheat. So the recommendation is that you stop eating wheat and don't give the baby any baby food that has wheat in it. So the recommendation here really, to take it one step further, would be for you to clean up your diet completely and eliminate all 10 bad foods, right? We've nominated 10 foods as being completely inappropriate for human health, and nobody should even look at these foods, let alone eat them. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats are the top 4 foods. To get that list, it's a free list. Just go to my website, fireyourmdnow.com, and log in or sign up for my free monthly newsletter. It's right there on the front page. And when you submit, hit the submit link, fill in your name and your email address, and click submit. You're taken to a secret page, a password secret page on my website that has a list of the good food, bad food diet, and a little video that I put together that explains why. So the first thing to do is stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats yourself. And don't give the child any food that has wheat, barley, rye, or oats in it. And I would supplement the child's diet with the 90 essential nutrients and essential fatty acids. And, the recommendation for the Healthy Start Pack is it's all based on body weight. So you can start a newborn off with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You can start the newborn off with the OsteoFX Plus and the EFAs. That's no problem. Extra essential fatty acids go a long way towards helping to clear up the eczematous condition. So, that's how I would start, and that's what I would do. Does that sound good?
Yes. Do you think they need a probiotic or no?
No, a probiotic is never a bad idea, but I don't think a probiotic it wouldn't be the first thing on my list. If I had to choose just one nutrient to give the child, it would be essential fatty acids. Plus,
okay, so give him his own and not just from what I'm getting.
Yes. So how much does the child weigh?
16 pounds.
16, yeah. So I would give him 1 EFA a day, and you just pierce it with a pin, squeeze the oil out, put it into a spoon, put it on your finger, get it into the child's mouth somehow. I would give him a half a teaspoon of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and a half a teaspoon of the OsteoFX Plus, and a little bit of water, a little bit of juice or whatever. And then once he gets up, as his weight increases, you can increase the dose. You can't overdose this stuff. I mean, you can, but it would be really, really hard to do. But you also don't want to overwhelm the little person's body either. So start with a half a teaspoon. Once he gets up to about 25 pounds, go to a teaspoon. And then when he's at 50 pounds, you can go to a tablespoon. And that's the best way to do it. But really, you have to avoid from his intake anything that has wheat, barley, rye, and oats in it, okay?
Okay.
All right, Tricia. Hey, thanks for the call. You're the greatest. I hope you have a fantastic new year. Sally from Nashville is up next with a question about fibromyalgia. Thanks for calling, Sally. You are live.
Hi, from Nassau City, California. I have some questions about for my daughter. I know you mentioned fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
She's 17 years old. She's 236 pounds. She complains of neck, shoulder, back pain, knee pain, and it all stems from a 2007 car accident. She never really got better. And she developed bowel fullness, taking a lot of bowel prep like mag, citrate, any type of bowel things, and still feeling full. She's chronic fatigue, extremely moody, angry very easy. She has acne, and she seems to break out these rashes. She's African American, but I still see like red rashes that appear on her body. They said she was allergic to one of these things they put in cosmetics, but we eliminated that. She doesn't have an energy to do anything. For someone who, is supposed to be graduating and going to college, I just can't get her motivated.
Yeah, well, she's got the wrong doctor. I mean, she's got a lot of things going on here, right? And your daughter is a perfect example of conventional medical incompetence, right? Because for goodness sake, she's young, she's got all this stuff going on, and the MDs can't help her, and she's getting worse, and, we're supposed to be okay with this as a culture. Well, I'm not okay with it. This is just a tragedy of biblical proportions, and unless you intervene here with something, prudent, really this is just going to get worse. So good on you for calling me up. Let me just run this down for you, okay? So the chronic fatigue and the weight problem, because she's 236 pounds, that's overweight. These are related. Actually, all of her illnesses are, if we were to trace them all back, it's like an octopus with different arms, right? One arm is the fibromyalgia and the joint pain. The other arm is the bowel fullness. The other arm is the chronic fatigue. The other arm is she hangers easily. The other arm is easy and frequent rashes, right? When we trace these things back to their root, which is what we do, we see chronic nutrient deficiencies. The only reason that people gain weight is because they eat too many calories. And the only reason they eat too many calories is because their body is starving for nutrition. And the body knows it's starving for nutrition, and it forces the person to eat. But the food that the person eats doesn't have the nutrients in it that the body needs. So we eat and we eat and we eat and we eat. We eat 3,000 calories at, Olive Garden, and 3 hours later we're hungry again, right? And so you're going to gain weight. Not because there's anything wrong with her. She doesn't have a bad gene. She doesn't have a stomach that's too big. She doesn't have any, she's got the wrong doctor, for goodness sake. That's the only reason anybody's overweight. So her body's nutritionally starving. And selenium is the main nutrient related to fibromyalgia. This is an interesting thing to talk about. When fibromyalgia happens in animals, it's called white muscle disease. And it happens more frequently in sheep. I don't really know why, but the veterinarian industry eliminated fibromyalgia in animals 30 years ago. Any livestock farmer will tell you that when their cattle or their sheep get fibromyalgia, they give them a shot of selenium, an intramuscular injection of selenium, and within 24 hours they're cured. It goes away. So if it is chronic fatigue, and I'm not sure that it is, but it might be, then it's a simple selenium deficiency. Angering easily, with frequent rashes and moodiness, right? This is her blood sugar issue. She
used to have type 2 diabetes, but they said she was cured of it.
Yeah, okay, so she's not. When the blood sugar is borderline, your blood sugar is not healthy. When your blood sugar is too high, when your blood sugar is too low, it's going to make you moody. And then you're just going to think that's a normal thing that happens in life because you're always moody. Why you're always moody? Because your blood sugar is always funky. So stick around with me, Sally. I'll dial in a prudent and smart program here to support and promote the health of your daughter when we come back. Fire your MD now in 2012. We're talking to Sally from Nashville. She's got a daughter that's in trouble here. So, Sally, here's what I'd like to do for the first 90 days. The recommendation here to support and promote the health of your daughter's body would be, per month, 2 healthy blood sugar packs and 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. 2 healthy blood sugar packs and 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. That is the best place to start for the first 3 months, 90 days, right? 90 for life, 90 days. So, and it's not going to hurt to have her clean up her diet. As a matter of fact, it would be mandatory. So, no wheat, no barley, no rye, no oats, no oil in a bottle, no fried food. To get that list, just go to fireyourmdnow.com. Sign up for my free monthly newsletter. I don't sell email addresses. Don't do any of that nonsense. And we'll email you, or you'll get directed to a page on my website that has a list of the good food and the bad food. And your job is to have you and your daughter both stop eating all of the foods that are on the bad food list. And finally, whenever she gets a rash, I want her to write down the very last thing that she had to eat or drink. Just keep a running list. And by the 4th or the 5th time that she gets a rash, there's going to be foods on that list that are similar. And 5 will get you 10 that she's allergic to those foods. So you can go an extra step here. In addition to eliminating the 10 bad foods, eliminate also from her diet the foods that are generating the rash. And oftentimes we miss this relationship because the rash will happen, an hour after we eat the food, or an hour and a half or 2 hours after we eat the food, and our mind doesn't put 2 and 2 together. But rashes like this are often related to an allergic reaction to a food. It's moderated by a part of the immune system called immunoglobulin G, IgG, and most medical doctors are completely unaware of it. So 2 healthy blood sugar packs, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, clean up her diet, give her 3 months and what a great time of the year to be starting all this, right? Because it's the new year, new lease on life. Sounds good to me. So give it a try and call us back in a couple of weeks with an update, and thank you for the support and keep up the good work. We've got time for one more. Linda from Minneapolis, you are the last caller of 2012. Welcome aboard. You are live.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden. I have a friend who has shingles.
Yeah.
And he's probably about 60 years old, maybe 180 pounds and 5 feet 10 inches. He's had knee problems before where he was thinking of having a knee replacement but didn't. And he probably has digestive problems and depression too.
All right, so I'm going to start him. The recommendation here, in interest of time here, is 2 healthy blood sugar packs, 2 healthy blood sugar packs per month, 4 bottles of selenium per month, and 2 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count a month. That's 2 glucogel at the 240 count, 4 ultimate selenium, and 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month. Now, for the shingles specifically, you can get some Longevity Colloidal Silver. Colloidal Silver, it's a longevity product, and it's a liquid. And then go to CVS, get a little spray bottle, pour the colloidal silver into the spray bottle. And when the shingles appears, I want you to spray the eruption with colloidal silver 6 or 7 times a day. And at night, I want them to soak a gauze pad in the colloidal silver and tape it right over the lesion. The action of colloidal silver is antimicrobial, and it will actually help to kill the virus in rapid fashion, and has the chance of remarkably reducing the length of time that the shingles eruption appears. So this is a very good thing. And from our point of view, you know, when people get shingles, this is an indication that their immune system is weak. You don't get shingles because you have the virus in your body. You get shingles because your immune system is weak. And what is your immune system made from? Protein. So a diet that's high in sugar and low in protein will facilitate infectious stuff, and it also makes your mood funky. So he needs to really, you know, eat more protein. I want 50% of everything on his plate every time he eats now to be protein, and reduce the sugar, reduce the bad food. Give this supplement plan a try for 90 days, and, you know, good on you for taking a step on behalf of the health of those people in your family and those people in your community. Who else does that? Longevity people do that, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next year when we're 2 hours a day. We're going to rock the world in 2013. Take your health and your wealth to an entirely new level. Thank you so much for your support in 2012. It's you that have made this possible. I'll see you next year.